Not many, if so, any people actually know who the writer of Hebrews in the New Testament of the Bible is. And a lot of people say Paul, that's kind of the default, like, yep, Paul. But I think in most Bibles, or in a lot of Bibles, it will say like an epistle of the Apostle Paul, or just unknown. Something Timothy, something Barnabas, something Apollos, but this is something I learned recently from doing a biblical studies in my school, and it gave a point that really went to Paul's favor, and I'll show you now. Habakkuk 2:4. I'm reading in King James, but it doesn't really matter what version this point stands. Habakkuk, where are you? Jonah, Micah, Nahum, Habakkuk. Habakkuk 2:4 reads, Behold, his soul which is lifted up, is not upright in him. Here's the important part. But the just shall live by his faith. There is a great trilogy in the New Testament of Romans, Galatians, and Hebrews that can be categorized into the three parts of that phrase that I just said. But the just shall live by his faith. In Romans, it actually talks a lot about justification, because Paul was warning the Romans and was preparing them for when Judaizers would come, and he didn't want them to be corrupt by their teaching of works and following the law of Moses and all that. So he was teaching them how they are justified, how they go to heaven, and how you aren't justified by works, right? So Romans talks a lot about the justification and being saved. Galatians talks about how you shall live, or talks about the shall live part of this verse. It talks about like the fruit of the Spirit, right? And all that stuff. And then Hebrews, obviously known for the hall of faith, shall live by faith. The three kind of come in the trilogy of the second part of Habakkuk 2:4, but the just shall live by faith. So that's a pretty interesting thing I learned.